Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the inaugural episode of Askgrissle. I figured you guys might, enjoy one of these shows because you guys really have warmed up to the random facts about me. But those are questions I ask myself, and I think that you guys would be interested in. So I wanted to turn it over to you guys and give you guys a chance to ask me some questions. Now, I got some questions. I don't have a ton of them this week because I think, a lot of people actually in the comments. I think what I'm going to start doing, because I have people ask me on Twitter, but also if you don't have a Twitter account, there's a lot of people out there that don't have a Twitter account. If you don't have a Twitter account, just ask the questions down in the comments. Just put down in the comments, do the hashtag Askgrissle, hashtag Askgrissle as well, and that way people here on YouTube can ask me questions if they don't have a Twitter account. But if you're on Twitter, ask the question directly to me and put the hashtag Askgrissle in there, and then we'll get going. So I got some questions here. People ask me. I do old school way. I write them down on a piece of paper. So the first question was, if I had one day to spend with either Dara, Soyun, or Hyuna, who would I spend it with? And that was tough, but then when I started thinking about it, because, Dara and Soyun are so close for me as far as ultimate bias, it's like edge of a knife close. That's how close it is. And but actually when I started thinking about it, it's actually kind of an easy decision for me, and that would be Dara, because Dara can speak English and I hear she speaks it fluently. I don't know, I've seen some of her work where she speaks, and she's pretty good at it, so that would make it a lot easier because I wouldn't need a translator there with me to ask her questions or talk to her and stuff. She could understand me and I could understand her, and I just think it would be a freaking fun ass day. No matter what we did, we'd be laughing all day long and having a good time. So the answer to that question is Dara, and the reason for that is because she can speak English, and we wouldn't need a translator there with us. So second question, and this was asked once before, actually, and and I answered it, but vampire or werewolf, and why? And I answered that before. I said I'd want to be a werewolf, and I don't know, the reasoning behind that is all through time, werewolves, through like all the stories and stuff, werewolves can, live during the day, and then at night they like turn into this beast. Where vampires, they can't come out in the sunlight unless they're like the sparkly vampires from Twilight. But werewolves are just badass. Like, they're just bad at, like, I don't know, like, I would love, it looks painful, like in the movies and stuff, and there's and changing and all that stuff, but it just looks bad as fuck. And I don't know, like, depending on, I don't know, just vampires are just kind of meh to me. They're cool, but werewolf is badass, and yeah, I would definitely love to be a werewolf. And like I said, werewolves can go out any time of day. During the day, they're human. They don't turn into the beast till nighttime. We ain't get no sleep, but werewolf's cool. Okay. Next question. Who are your favorite YouTube reactors? Back when I started, or not when I started, but back when I got into K-pop, your normal people like Courtney Jasmine, K-Spazzing, JRE, they were at the top, back at the beginning and stuff. But now that I'm actually doing YouTube, and I honestly don't have a lot of time to watch stuff, because if I have time, I'm filming, and if I'm not filming, I'm usually doing stuff, in my normal day life outside of YouTube. But when I do have time to sit down, or some new videos come out and I want to see who, people's reactions, I'd say the first two people I always go to are Nick Dano, and And the reason I like Nick Dano so much is because he reminds me so much of this friend I had in high school. His name was Larry. But he reminds me so much of this friend I had in high school, but he ended up moving to Arizona, so I don't even talk to him anymore. But he's just, I don't know, me and Nick would click right off the bat. Like, I know we would. Like, if he lived around anywhere around here, I know I'd be hanging out. You know, we'd be having a blast. And then K-pop Steve. I like K-pop Steve. I think he's cool. I don't know, anybody with an accent, I just like listening to them talk. But then also, he's just a funny dude. And probably actually one of the first people that I ever, when I started doing YouTube, that I actually contacted, and you know, we kind of had a rapport together. And he's just a really cool guy, and he's just funny to watch. He goes all out. Like, he's one of them people, when he does reactions, he goes all out. He's a nut. But I don't do that, but I think it's fun to watch him do it sometimes. So those are my two that I watch when I can. I watch other ones, but those are the two I really want to see, you know, when they come out with new stuff and everything like that. Okay, next question. If I had a chance to visit an Arab country, which one would it be? Actually, I've always wanted to check out Dubai, so that's in the UAE. So I don't know. I just always see Dubai on these Travel Channel shows, or you know, just crazy things like that, and it just looks amazing. It just looks like so much stuff there that's awesome. So it would probably most likely be there. I'd love to visit Dubai sometime. So yeah. Another person asked, "Can you show us your tarantulas?" Not right now. Like I'm down the road, probably after Christmas. I'm gonna try to get me a real good handheld camera, probably a Rebel T3 or something like that, and then I'll do some videos and I'll show you guys my spiders. And if nobody knew, I collect tarantulas. I used to have a lot of them at my prior place where I lived, but when I moved here, there's no pets allowed here, but I snuck in the ones I could, and I have what do I have? I have 5 tarantulas left. 2 of them are bird eaters, Brazilian bird eaters, and one's a green bottle blue. One's I got 6 here. But anyways, down the road, like I said, when I have my real good high def camera, I'll do a video and show you guys. You know, I know there's probably a ton of you that won't watch that video, but some people want to see my spiders, and that's fine. I'll show you guys. This was an awesome question. I love this question. Favorite scene in a Star Wars movie? You guys know I'm a huge Star Wars nut and Star Wars fan and geek and everything like that. Probably I would have to say the one that I still get super excited and can't wait to see is the scene where, you know, Han Solo's going down to get frozen in the carbonite, and he's getting it, you know, Leia's getting held back by the guards and stuff like that, and he's getting, you know, lowered down. Or no, he's not getting lowered down yet. He's standing there, and she kind of breaks free. She's like, "I love you," and he's like, "I know." And then they lower him down in there. The funny thing about that scene is, if people didn't know this, they actually were going to have a dialogue. And Harrison Ford was really, he you know, to this day, he's really hounded George Lucas on how he wrote the dialogue in Star Wars. And he's like, he wrote stuff that people they don't talk like that. And so in that particular scene, when that happened, you know, when they were filming it, he told George, he's like, how about when she asks me, you know, or tells me she loves me, I just say I know. And George was like, all right, let's try filming that way too. So they filmed both ways, I guess, and they ended up, that one got so much good response that they kept that one in the movie. So that was cool. And another cool thing about it, another cool Harrison Ford scene was the was it Raiders of the Lost Ark? I'm pretty sure the big scene in Indiana Jones where, you know, he's running through that little town there with all those people with baskets on their head and everything, and then he runs into that dude who had the big sword, or was it one big sword or two big swords? I can't remember, but the big, you know, Arab guy who had the swords, and he was just standing there, and the guy was like with the swords. Well, the thing was, Harrison Ford had a horrible flu and horrible fever that day, and they actually had a blocked out fight scene between those two characters. And Harrison there's no way he was going to do it, and he's like, how about I just pull out a gun and shoot? He asked George Lucas once again, he's like, how about I just pull out a gun and shoot him? That'll be kind of funny. And that's what happened, and that scene gets so much laughs anytime people sees that scene, because it's so funny, because that guy's just like, he's a badass, and Harrison Ford just like shoots him dead, and it's awesome. And that scene was not supposed to be like that at all. Just Harrison Ford had the flu, had a bad fever. They had a freaking fight scene, a big, huge choreographed fight scene, you know, laid out for that, and it was just, this scene is always remembered in the Indiana Jones scene. Sorry for that long ramble and rant. I had to tell you guys. Okay, and the last question says, I am a fellow YouTuber. How do you deal with haters? Okay, that's a good question, actually, because early on when I started, I don't know if this person's new to YouTube or not, but they just said that they were a YouTuber. Early on when I started, haters used to really get to me, and I used to, I was in the same boat. I was going around asking people how they deal with stuff and deal with haters and stuff, because I would like delete their comments at first and shit like that, but then I realized, you know, that was just fueling their fire. They knew they were getting under my skin because I would delete comments and stuff. So I quit doing that, but then I went around, you know, kind of seeing what other people used to do, or, you know, there's a lot of videos on YouTube about how to deal with haters, and those videos are really helpful. So I would tell this person is go watch a lot of those videos, because they really get you thinking, and it's just, they pretty much outline like what a hater truly is, and, you know, it's kind of sad you know, that people, you know, spend their time doing this. But one cool thing that Google did with YouTube is with the early this year and all the patches they've been putting in, the Panda and Penguin updates that Google has been putting in their algorithms and in YouTube's algorithms, is that I think it was like, I want to say July, maybe even August, they had a patch where they switched stuff up, and it used to be haters could really fuck up your video by like mass hating or thumb downing your video, or putting mass tons of comments, you know, hateful comments on your videos. And back in the day, that used to be really detrimental to your YouTube videos. But YouTube and Google realize this, and they realize there's just armies of haters out there that if they want to destroy someone's channel, they could, by doing these, you know, thumb downs and stuff like that. I really honestly don't understand why there's even a thumb down on videos nowadays. I mean, it's just feeding hate. That's all it is. I mean, there should be a thumb up. If people don't like it, they don't thumb it up, and if they like it, they thumb it up. But why is there a dislike button? I don't get it. It just, like I said, it fuels hatred. But either ways, Google came to the realization that this was happening with haters, and they put something in their algorithm, because now YouTube videos, you know, have to deal with interaction. And interaction is with, you know, your likes and comments and everything like that. But they decided to, even thumb downs goes towards interaction with your video. And interaction is one of the things that brings your videos, you know, to the top in search engines, whether it be on Google or on YouTube. So they actually made haters pretty much what they do is pointless anymore, because actually them disliking your video or coming in and cramming your videos full of dislikes or cramming your video full of bad comments is only upping your video's interaction level, which is upping your video on the search engine. Now they can't hurt your video by doing stuff like that, which is awesome, and which Google is amazing for thinking of that. Now I think what they should do is just take the dislike button away altogether, because like I said, all that button does is fuel hatred and fuel people to hate your video and stuff like that, and just gives something for haters to do. And I think if they took that away, haters, like I said, as of right now, haters can do nothing to hurt your video. All they can do is help your video by slamming your video with tons of bad comments and slamming your video with tons of thumb downs. All that does is bring your video to the top. So I say thank you to all the haters now. They don't bother me anymore one bit, but now the stuff they do is actually helping my videos. So thank you guys. So that's how I deal with haters. Like I said, if you really need help how to deal with haters, there's a lot of really good videos out on YouTube. Just do a search saying, how to deal with haters on YouTube or something like that. I think the one that really got to me was from this girl, and I can't remember her name. I know she's really popular on YouTube for makeup or something like that, and she did one of those videos for haters, and that really opened my eyes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all the questions I have for today. Like I said, if you have any questions and you don't have a Twitter, just ask them down in the comments below and use the hashtag Askgrissle. And on Twitter, if you have any questions for next week's episode, ask me the question directly on my Twitter account and use the hashtag Askgrissle. And yeah, that's about it. So I love you guys. Peace.